What's good, everyone? Welcome back to Rich Off Gains podcast, episode 2. It's your boy, Caleb Baker. And we're back, man. We're back. Happy Money Mondays, everybody. Tuning in on Monday. Hope you guys are doing all right today. Let's get right to it, man. Before we get started, if you guys are taking any advice from my podcast, make sure to do your own research and do your own due diligence. This is not financial advice. However, I do have to make a disclaimer just so you guys are not like, oh, Caleb gave me this advice and it's his fault I lost this money and this and that. No, do your own research, take your own risk, and with that being said, let's get started. First topic of the day. Do you really need multiple streams of income? This is an interesting topic because a lot of people feel like you need to make money from so many different ways, and truth being told, I don't really feel like you need multiple streams of income, and the reason being, pause, restart. I don't think you need multiple streams of income if you aren't making a certain amount of money. So if you're like making less than $1 million doing whatever it is you're doing, I don't think you need multiple streams of income. I think that you should maximize one income, make a lot of money from doing one thing, and then add on streams of income. The reason for that is because it's distracting. It's a distraction anytime you take your time away from doing one thing that can make you a lot of money and you're trying to do multiple things that are not making you that much money. So if you're making like $10,000 here, $10,000 there, now granted, $10,000 is a lot of money. It's just not enough to move the needle to make a move where you need to make multiple streams of income. And that's just my personal opinion. Now, if you're doing multiple things to make money, to get by, that's totally understandable. But if you have one thing that you're really, really good at and you can master that skill and really level up that skill, and you know it's a skill that's high level, a high level paying skill that can help you make over 6 figures easily. Well, not easily, but you get what I mean. Like, if you can make a lot of money from doing one thing, just do that one thing first. And then once you've made over 7 figures, you guys should look into diversifying, because now you've built a big enough foundation for you to be able to say, okay, I can now take my time from doing this one thing because I've made so much doing this one thing. I know that I have that skill and that foundation. The finances there for you to be able to go invest and take risk in other things. Most millionaires don't have an income stream that they don't have multiple streams of income until after they've made $1 million. And the reason being is, like I said, to have a foundation. They set a foundation first and then they dive into other assets. And normally they don't get no more than 3. And that's just what studies show. They show that most millionaires don't pick up more than 3 income streams. Now, granted, you can make so much money within doing one thing. Like, for example, say you are a day trader, or say that you're someone who buys and sells stocks. Okay, awesome. You can make so much money in so many different ways by buying and selling stocks. You can day trade, swing trade, buy leaps, buy shares. That's 4 different ways in investing in stocks that you can make money. So things like that are ways you can maximize the opportunity that you have in making money. Now, it's not different streams of income. In a way it is, but it's all in the same category. So you want to look at things like that. Like, same thing goes for content creation. So let's say that you make content and you post on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Okay, you get paid individually from each of these platforms. It's the same strategy, the same approach, but you're getting paid from 3 different platforms. And so that's a way of getting different streams of income, but it's all the same thing. So you want to do things like that if you're trying to have multiple streams of income, and that's what you want to be mindful of when you're trying to create new streams of income for yourself. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Comment below what you guys think, whether or not you think that you need multiple streams of income. If you made less than $1 million, I feel like personally you need to make more than $1 million to pick up more streams of income outside of those things that I discussed. So yeah. Next up, investment tip of the week. Focus on quality, not quantity. When investing, and in particularly investing into stocks, you don't need to buy 10,000, 100,000, 100 companies. You only need a good 12. And the reason why I say that is because me personally, I only own seven stocks of 7 different companies. And I have massive success in each of those stocks. And the reason for that is because I focused on quality, not quantity. Quality being the best of the best, the creme of the creme, the creme of the crop. Like, you want to buy the stocks that are the top producers in that particular sector. So for example, tech. Tech is the overall outgrowing and outleading sector that is worth investing into right now. Like, everything runs off of tech. So Apple, Google, Amazon, those are all tech companies, but they have their own space in that sector where they dominate. Now, the number one companies in the world, like Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft, those are the top three. You want to buy those, because why would you not buy the thing that's the best and the most leading successful in the stock market? It just doesn't make sense. So anytime you go experimenting and trying to buy Wendy's, you're most likely cooked. And I'm just gonna say that with grace, because you're not using common sense at that point. You're trying to buy something that's a risk, and it's like an unnecessary risk. If you're gonna take a risk and bet on something that's already proven itself time and time again. Nvidia is a newcomer to the space, and it's taken over the market by, like, within the last 5 years, it's taken over the market really, really massively. And so it's shown its dominance in the space, and it's continuing to show its growth. It still has a lot more room to go, which we'll talk about later in the episode. We actually going to go over some things with that. But Apple is a company that's been around for years and years and years, and it's been dominating the stock market for years and years and years, because it's had such a footprint on the world that you can't, I'm using the iPhone to record this video. I have another iPhone right here. So it's like, you can't deny Apple's dominance in the world. And it's like, things like that are just common sense. You want to buy things that just make sense, and you don't want to buy a lot because you don't need to. Apple's done a stock split probably every few years. And so with that stock split, it allows you to buy more shares of the company at a cheaper price, because the perception of the price matters in the market. And the reason for that is because people are intimidated by $1,000 price range for a stock compared to $100 price range for a stock. So you think that you're getting a good price on a stock that's worth $10, and you think that's going to go to $1 million. No, that's not the case. You have to buy quality stocks, and even though they might be more expensive, that's okay. You can buy fractional shares. Some brokerages allow you to buy fractional shares. So you want to be mindful of those things when you're buying stocks, because you're not gonna make money off any stock. Yes, most stocks go up, but there's stocks that go up and there's stocks that blow up, like they go crazy. Like Palantir, that was a company that in the last year has probably received over a year to date, probably over a 300% return in the market, probably more. I'm pretty sure it was more, but if my memory serves me correctly, when I last looked at Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR, you guys go look it up. You'll see it returned over 300% in the market. Why did it return so much money in the market? Well, Palantir is a technological service that provides web services for like defensive web servicing. So like, it's a defense stock for all things tech. And in this AI era that we're in, that is going to be a number one thing that is looked at and valued in this space. Protection of your assets digitally, right? Government's going to want it. Companies are going to want it. So yes, Palantir has had massive success because they're the most dominant company in that space. And there's a lot of private companies that are possibly going to come out later in the future. But right now, Palantir is that public company. So Palantir is capitalized off of the exposure to the market in that regard. And so with that, it's now become a quality stock because everybody has their eyes out on it, and it has such attention around it that it has now become a quality stock. So you want to invest in quality over quantity. Like I said, you don't need more than 12. If you buy more than 12, cool. that's your choice. But me personally, I don't think you need more than 12 stocks. So yeah, keep your money diverse as possible in the stock market. I am over leveraged in tech right now, but that's just because tech is such a dominant space. I'm not too fearful of it because my prices are good in the stocks that I have, but I do have a little bit of health. I want to get into more banking in the future, like bank stocks, and that's really it. Consumer stocks are not the best. Tech is literally the only way that you can see value in the market. Like tech is leading the market in growth and in returns on your investments. Energy as well. Energy is a good one, like gas, oil, solar, things like that. So there's some other opportunities that you can invest in as well, but you just want to look into the stock that you're buying and really do your deep research and look at how dominant it is in the particular space that you're buying. If you're buying something that's number 10 in the space, you don't want to do that because it's just, one, it's not going to hold its value. Two, it has less potential to grow and really see a return on your investment. You might see a return, but if you would have just put that money in, that's like buying Intel compared to Avgo, right? Avgo had a way better return than Intel did. Intel had somewhat of a return, don't get me wrong, but it's not the dominant company in that space. So things like that you want to be mindful of. You just want to do your research and just look at what companies have more moats and more advantages compared to other ones and which ones stand out the most. And whenever you get that, idea down, you'll be more better off buying quality stocks. So that's my opinion on that. Comment below what you guys think. If you guys are new, make sure to like and share this content, and also leave a follow. I plan to do these videos every Monday at 6 p.m. So yeah, moving on. Nvidia. Let's talk more about Nvidia. We have earnings reports coming up this week, and one of the names on the earnings bracket is Nvidia. Nvidia is set to report earnings November 19th, which is on Wednesday. And I don't know how the market is going to respond. I think the most analysts are expecting good results from Nvidia. The thing with Nvidia is so 2024 was a roller coaster for Nvidia. It literally, actually 2023 and 2024 was a roller coaster for Nvidia. And the reason being is because Nvidia skyrocketed back in 2023 after just a crazy run of good earnings reports, and crazy demand for the stock just really took off. And so they had a stock split in 2024, and from there they just been really going crazy. But 2023 was their year that they were running up, and the reason being was because a lot of the times when they reported earnings, they shot up, and so now the expectations around Nvidia have been so high. Like the standard for their company, the bar is set at a high standard, and so it's been tough to see those same returns that you would see in Nvidia. I don't think that we'll get back to that point. Maybe we will. As of right now, I don't think we'll get back to that point at this current moment. However, they are doing a lot of things right. Like they're doing a lot of partnerships with a lot of different companies in different sectors. Like they just did a deal with Eli Lilly. They did a deal with OpenAI to build more these AI facilities, and they're doing a lot of deals like that and partnerships like that. So they're aligning themselves to be one of the runners, one of the great companies in the future. They're already number one, but to continue to be great, you have to continue to think forward ahead, and they're doing that really well. They're always thinking forward. They come up with ways to create their products 3 to 6 months prior to them actually being released, and that way they're always ahead of their competition. And this is something you all want to keep in mind. You have to find ways for you to be able to outcompete your competitors. You have to be in a lane of your own, a water of your own, and really just stand out. Like they're the creme de la creme, like the top of the top when it comes to semiconductors, because they do it at such a high efficient level that no one else can compete with them other than Broadcom. Broadcom is one of the ones, I ain't gonna lie. But Nvidia is doing everything really well, and I can see why they're dominating the space. So I don't know how Nvidia will, market I don't know how the market will react to Nvidia when they report earnings. However, I do know that whether they go up or down, I have a plan. So if they go up, I continue to hold and I continue to take day trades on it, whatever. If they go down, my target price that I'm looking at Nvidia, the first target price, if it comes down to like right around 160, particularly 159.14, that's the price that I would plan to buy more shares of Nvidia at. So if you guys want to keep track of that, 159.14 would be a price to look to buy Nvidia at. And then if we get down to 136.86, I am going to load the boat. I'm going to be buying so many shares of Nvidia at that price, and I have no regret about it. So those are the targets that I have for Nvidia at this current moment. Right now, we're sitting at right around 190, I believe. I didn't check the exact price, but somewhere around 190 last time I looked at it, and the all-time high was 212. So if we have a really good earnings report and we break back above 200, I think that we could see before the year closes out. I think that if we have a good earnings report going into the end of this year, we can possibly break 220 because we have the holiday rally, and that might push the market in a really, really bullish direction, and also depending on the data and everything that's coming out to affect the market. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, those are my targets for Nvidia. Earnings report will be on Wednesday, November 19th. So keep that in mind. And yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, y'all. So the government shutdown has finally come to an end. The government finally came to an agreement on the funding for the government November 10th. I believe that was last Wednesday. They finally came to an agreement and said, you know what, we're going to finally end this shutdown. What happens next? How is the market going to be affected? Because guys, the market's been on a run up since April. Like, we have not had a red month since April, and that's really, really crazy. Because it's probably one of the longest months, longest runs, bullish runs we've had since a while. I gotta do some research on that, but it's been a minute since we had a run like this. So what can we expect to happen now that the government is officially no longer shut down? So we have a lot of delayed data that we're behind on regarding the government and the economy. So depending on what comes out with those reports, we have to take that with a grain of salt. The new continued data reports that we're supposed to be having come out going forward, that can play a very important role in the upcoming weeks for the market. I think that if the news is good, the market holds and it might go higher. If the news is bad, though, then we can expect more downside. Last week, we had some selling come in after they finally signed the agreement to pass the law to open back up the government. The market literally sold right after they signed that agreement. So from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the market sold. But Monday and Tuesday, the market actually gapped up. Like, we came into the market on Monday, we gapped up above. We closed the week before we closed at 670, I believe. We gapped up from 670 back to 680, and then from 680 went to 685, and then on Wednesday, we reversed right back from 685, going all the way back down to 683, and pretty much closing the week at the same level, 670. So it's going to be interesting to see, the upcoming weeks with regards to the delayed data and the new data coming out. It's all going to mix together. So I don't know what we can expect, but I think that it will definitely be some opportunities that are presented within the upcoming weeks. So keep an eye out for just any opportunities, preferably anytime there's a 20% pullback in the market from the overall market, the S&P, that's a great time to buy stocks. If you guys see a 20% pullback, even a 10% pullback, it's a good time to buy, but over 20% pullbacks are great times to buy in the market. I'm talking long-term swings, I'm talking long-term shares, I'm talking all that. So yeah, that's what I think will happen with the government shutdown now finally coming to an end. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, at the time of this recording, is currently at, let me look at it real quick. Is currently sitting at $95,200.40. Well, it's moving around, but $95,000. I think we pulled back a little bit more than that, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look again. Okay, yeah, so we pulled back down to 93,000 basically. Where are we going from here? Well, my ideal target for Bitcoin is actually 80K. I mentioned early on in like an Instagram post I did probably like a few months ago, back in September when the market was running up and everything was going crazy, that, you know, Bitcoin and all these other cryptos are going to pull back, and the best time to buy Bitcoin, the next price to buy Bitcoin at would be about 80,000. If it falls below 80,000, 70,000 is okay, but if it breaks 70,000, we go back to 50,000. It's not a bad time to buy, but that's just I would just say be more cautious. Me personally, I plan to hold Bitcoin for the rest of my life, so I have no problem with it coming down there. I want it to go as low as possible, honestly, because I want to buy a whole Bitcoin. I've yet to own a full Bitcoin just yet. So my plan for Bitcoin is to be buying very, very bullish the more it comes down. But yeah, my actual targets as regards to, you know, just history and based off pullbacks would be around 80,000 if it can hold there. You know, I plan to buy it. If it can't, I still plan to buy it, but I would recommend you guys look to buy at 80,000 if you guys want to get a position in it, or just continuously buy. You know, you really can't go wrong with it. If you have money, you know, you can risk or put money up for. Crypto, I would definitely recommend buying Bitcoin just because it's worth the risk, in my opinion. It's worth the risk given its history and how far it's come. You know, who knows what the next 5 to 10 years have in store for Bitcoin. So definitely put some money there for Bitcoin. If you guys have anything to put there, I would definitely recommend that. And, you know, Ethereum, I'm not too big a fan of Ethereum. Me personally, I don't really see the movement behind it. I don't do a lot of research on crypto, so don't take what I say with a grain of salt in regards to this. But I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, and I like XRP. Those are my only two holdings for crypto. I don't own any other cryptocurrencies. I don't trade cryptocurrencies like that. So take what I say with a grain of salt. I do my research to an extent on Bitcoin, but I do like 80,000 just from a technical standpoint. I like where it's at that level because that was a previous high. And so, yeah, that's what I think about Bitcoin. Other than that, guys, I mean, man, God is so good. Money Mondays. It's crazy when I started doing everything I'm doing with, you know, investing, starting businesses. Like I've owned over 3 businesses because I had a clothing brand, I had a sneaker business, and real estate. 2 to 3 were duds. 1 was a success, and I wouldn't even consider it a real success. It was more so like a job, you know, that cash flows, which is a blessing. And I always pray to God to just continue to allow me to live a life of being able to make my own choices and make my own decisions. And I've been blessed to be able to make my own choices and make my own decisions. Given being 23, you know, a lot of people my age have such success. I'm not too fazed by the cars and the nice clothes and things like that. I'm content with the ability to go after it each and every day and really take action each and every day to pursue my dream, because my dream is not just physical, tangible items. It's deeper than that. And so, you know, if you have a dream that you're trying to chase, if you have something that you're trying to pursue, continue to believe in God, continue to keep him close to you, because, you know, he's going to make sure that you get the desired dream that you have, if you align yourself with his dream for you, his ambition, his purpose, and his intent for you. And you'll see things that you think don't make sense in the moment come to light and make sense for you later on in life and really align you with what you're trying to achieve. That's happened for me throughout the last lifetime, honestly, but 5 years for sure. I've seen it time and time again where things that didn't make sense in the moment made sense after I looked back on it and reflected on the moment that I experienced it. So use that as fuel and energy to go out there and get it, go out there and achieve greatness, and just really, really strive for a better lifestyle. Don't settle for less. Don't be content. and just continue to push forward and continue to move in a way that God is there for you. You gotta move with faith and you gotta move with intention. I really, really believe that anytime you move with faith and intention, you're unstoppable. Those are like the two combinations. Faith and intention is a very crazy combo to have to create substantial success. So yeah, guys, other than that, this is episode 2 of the Rich Off Gains podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Comment below your thoughts. If you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to let me know. I will be back next Monday, man. Happy Mondays, you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe.